Science of Setting Personal Goals Chapter 1, Unlocking of Your Spiritual Potentiality. Unlocking your spiritual potentiality. Achievement is objectives, and all else is discourse. All effective individuals are strongly objective situated. They realize what they need and they are zeroed in resolutely on accomplishing it, each and every day. Your capacity to set objectives is the ace ability of achievement. Objectives open your positive psyche and delivery thoughts and vitality for objective fulfillment. Without objectives, you basically float and stream on the ebbs and flows of life. With objectives, you fly like a bolt, straight and consistent with your objective. Truly, you presumably have more common potential than you could utilize in the event that you lived 100 lifetimes. Whatever you have achieved as of recently is just a little division of what is really workable for you. One of the standards for progress is this: it doesn't make a difference where you're coming from, the only thing that is important is the place you're going. Furthermore, where you are going is exclusively dictated without anyone else and your own musings. Clear objectives increment your certainty, build up your skill and support your degrees of inspiration. As Deal's mentor Tom Hopkins says, objectives are the fuel in the heater of accomplishment. You make your own reality. Maybe the best revelation in mankind's history is the intensity of your brain to make an incredible parts. All that you see around you in the man-made world started as an idea or a thought in the brain of a solitary individual before it was converted into the real world. Everything in your life began as an idea, a desire, an expectation, or a dream, either in your brain, or in the psyche of another person. Your contemplations are inventive. Your contemplations structure and shape your reality and all that transpires. The incredible synopsis proclamation, all things considered, methods of reasoning, mysticism, brain science, and achievement is this: you become what you consider more often than not. Your external world at last turns into an impression of your internal world, and mirrors back to you what you think about. Whatever you consider persistently develops in your existence. A large number of fruitful individuals have been asked what it is that they consider more often than not. The most well-known answer given by fruitful individuals is that they consider what they need, and how to get it more often than not. Ineffective, despondent individuals ponder what they don't need more often than not. They talk about their issues and stresses, furthermore, who is to be faulted, more often than not. However, effective individuals keep wanted objectives. They contemplate what they need the majority of the time. Living without clear objectives resembles driving in a thick haze. Regardless how incredible or very much built your vehicle, you drive gradually, reluctantly, gaining little ground on even the smoothest street. Settling on your objectives clears the haze quickly and permits you to center and channel your energies and capacities. Clear objectives empower you to step on the quickening agent of your own life and jump ahead quickly toward accomplishing a greater amount of the things you truly need. Your programmed objective looking for capacity. Envision this activity: you remove a homing pigeon from its perch, put it in a confine, spread the pen with a sweeping, place the enclosure in a crate, and at that point place the container into a shut truck taxi. You would then be able to drive 1,000 miles toward any path. In the event that you, at that point, open the truck taxi, take out the crate, remove the cover and let the homing pigeon out of the confine, the homing pigeon will fly out of sight, circle multiple times, and at that point fly unerringly back to its home perch 1,000 miles away. This is the main animal on Earth that has this amazing robotic, objective looking for work, aside from man. You have a similar objective accomplishing capacity as the homing pigeon, yet with one superb expansion. At the point when you are totally clear about your objective, you don't need to know where it is or how it is to be accomplished. By basically choosing precisely what it is you need, you will start to move unerringly toward your objective, and your objective will begin their considerations and discussion on the subjects of their most strongly to move unerringly toward you. At precisely the perfect time, and in precisely the ideal spot, you and the objective will meet. Due to this fantastic computerized component found profound inside your psyche, you generally accomplish your objectives, whatever they are. You push toward them and they advance toward you. On the off chance that you will probably get home around evening time and stare at the TV, you will in all likelihood accomplish it. On the off chance that you will probably make a superb life loaded with well-being, satisfaction, furthermore, flourishing, you will accomplish that too. Like a PC, your objective looking for system is non-critical. It works consequently, furthermore, persistently to bring you what you need, paying little heed to what you program into it. Nature couldn't care less about the size or extent of your objectives. In the event that you set little objectives, your programmed objective accomplishing component will empower you to accomplish little objectives. In the event that you set enormous objectives, this normal ability will empower you to accomplish enormous objectives. The size, scope, and detail of the objectives you decide to consider more often than not is totally up to you. Why individuals don't set objectives? Here is a decent inquiry: if objective setting is programmed, why is it that so scarcely any individuals have clear, composed, quantifiable, time-limited objectives that they progress in the direction of every day? This is one of the incredible puzzles of life. I accept there are 4 reasons why individuals don't set objectives. Objectives aren't significant. To begin with, the vast majority don't understand the significance of objectives. On the off chance that you develop up in a home where nobody has objectives, or you associate with a gathering where objectives are neither talked about nor esteemed, you can without much of a stretch arrive at adulthood without realizing that your capacity to set and accomplish objectives will have a greater amount of an impact on your life than some other aptitude. Check out you. The number of your companions or relatives are clear and focused on their objectives. They don't have the foggiest idea how. The second explanation that individuals don't have objectives is on the grounds that they don't realize how to set them in any case. Much more dreadful, numerous individuals feel that they as of now have objectives, when truly, what they all things considered have are a progression of wishes or dreams like, be cheerful, or rake in some serious cash, or have a pleasant family life. Yet, these are not objectives by any stretch of the imagination. They are just dreams that are basic to everybody. An objective anyway is something particularly not the same as a desire. It is clear, composed, and explicit. It very well may be rapidly and effortlessly depicted to someone else. You can quantify it, also, you know when you have accomplished it, or not. It is conceivable to take a serious degree at a main college while never getting 1 hour of guidance on objective setting. It is as though the individuals who decide the instructive substance of our schools and colleges are totally ignorant concerning the significance of objective setting in making progress sometime down the road. What's more, obviously, in the event that you never find out about objectives until you are a grown-up, as I encountered, you will have no clue about the fact that they are so essential to all that you do. The dread of disappointment. The third explanation that individuals don't set objectives is a result of the dread of disappointment. Disappointment harms. It is genuinely and regularly monetarily excruciating, what's more, upsetting. Everybody has had disappointment encounters from time to time. Each time, they resolve to be more cautious next time and maintain a strategic distance from disappointment encounters later on. They at that point commit the error of unknowingly attacking themselves by not defining any objectives at which they may come up short. They wind up experiencing life working at far lower levels than are really feasible for them. The dread of dismissal. The fourth explanation that individuals don't set objectives is a direct result of the dread of dismissal. Individuals are worried about the possibility that on the off chance that they set an objective and are most certainly not fruitful, others will condemn or deride them. This is one of the reasons why, when you start to set objectives, you should keep your objectives private. Try not to tell anybody. Let them see by your outcomes, what's more, accomplishments, what you have achieved, yet don't let them know ahead of time. This should be relatively unimportant to you. Join the main 3%. Imprint McCormick in his book What They Don't Show You in the Harvard Business College recounts a Harvard study led between 1979 and 1989. In 1979, the alumni of the MBA program at Harvard were asked, "Have you set clear, composed objectives for your future and made arrangements to achieve them?" It worked out that as it were 3% of the alumni had composed objectives and plans. 13% had objectives, yet they were not recorded as a hard copy. Completely 84% had no particular objectives by any means, aside from escaping school and appreciating the late spring. After 10 years, in 1989, they met the individuals from that class once more. They found that the 13% who had objectives, however, which were not in composing, were acquiring on normal twice as much as the 84% of understudies who had no objectives by any means. Be that as it may, most shockingly, they discovered that the 3% of graduates who had clear, composed objectives went by and large, tenfold the amount of as the other 97% of graduates altogether. The main contrast between the bunches was the clearness of the objectives they had for themselves when they began. No street signs. The significance of clearness is straightforward. Envision showing up on the edges of a huge city and being advised to head to a specific home or office in that city. Be that as it may, here's the trick. There are no street signs and you have no guide of the city. Indeed, all you are given is a general portrayal of the home or office that is your objective. Here is the issue: how long do you figure it would take you to discover a home or office in a city without a guide or without street signs? The appropriate response is, most likely your entire life. On the off chance that you could possibly discover the home or office, it would be a lot of a matter of karma. Furthermore, tragically enough, this is the manner in which a great many people carry on with their lives. The normal individual beginnings life going through an unmapped and unfamiliar world with no guide. This is what could be compared to beginning off in existence without any objectives and plans. The person essentially figures things out as the person in question comes. Frequently, 10 or 20 years of work will go past and the individual is as yet broke, despondent in their activity, disappointed with their marriage and gaining little ground. Also, in any case, the person returns home each night and stares at the TV, wishing also, trusting that things would improve. In any case, they rarely do. Not by themselves. Satisfaction requires objectives. Lord Songbird once composed, "Satisfaction is the reformist acknowledgement of a commendable ideal, or objective." You possibly feel really glad when you are gaining ground, bit by bit, towards something that is critical to you. Viktor Frankl, the organizer of logotherapy, composed that the best need of the human being is for a feeling of significance and reason throughout everyday life. Objectives give you a feeling of importance and reason. Objectives provide you a feeling of guidance. As you advance toward your objectives, you feel more joyful and more grounded. You feel more invigorated and compelling. You feel more certain and skilled in yourself and your capacities. Each progression you take toward your objectives expands your conviction that you can set and accomplish considerably greater objectives later on. More individuals today dread change, and stress over the future, than at some other time in our history. One of the incredible advantages of objective setting is that objectives empower you to control the course of progress in your life. Objectives empower you to guarantee that the adjustments throughout your life are to a great extent self-decided and self-coordinated. Objectives empower you to impart meaning, furthermore, reason into all that you do. One of the most significant lessons of Aristotle, the Greek rationalist, was that man is a teleological living being. The word teleos in Greek methods objectives. What Aristotle closed was that all human activity is deliberate here and there. You are just upbeat when you are accomplishing something that is pushing you towards something that you need. The extraordinary inquiries at that point become, what are your objectives? What designs would you say you are focusing on? Where would you like to wind up at the day's end? Lucidity is everything. Your inherent potential is remarkable. You have inside you, right presently, the capacity to accomplish practically any objective that you can set for yourself. Your most noteworthy obligation to yourself is to contribute the whatever time is needed to turn out to be completely clear about precisely what it is you need, and how you can best accomplish it. The more prominent clearness you have with respect to your actual objectives, the greater amount of your latent capacity you will release for good in your life. You have likely heard it said that the normal individual uses as it were 10% of their latent capacity. The pitiful truth is that, as indicated by Stanford College, the normal individual capacities with just about 2% of his or her psychological potential. The rest of stays there available for later, being set something aside for some later time. This would be actually as though your folks had left you a trust finance with $100,000 in it, however all you ever took out to spend was $2,000. The other $98,000 basically sat in the account unused for an amazing duration. Build up a passionate longing. The beginning stage of all objective achievement is want. You should create an exceptional, deep longing for your objectives in the event that you truly need to accomplish them. It is just when your longing becomes serious enough that you will have the vitality and the inner drive to defeat all the deterrents that will emerge in your way. Fortunately, nearly anything that you need sufficiently long, what's more, sufficiently hard, you can eventually accomplish. The extraordinary very rich person, H.L. Chase, was once solicited the mystery of victory. He answered that achievement required two things, and two things as it were. To start with, he stated, you should know precisely what it is you need. A great many people never settle on this choice. Second, he stated, you should decide the value that you should pay to accomplish it, and afterward get going following through on that cost. The cafeteria model of accomplishment. Life is more similar to a smorgasbord or cafeteria than it is an eatery. In a eatery, you have the total supper and afterward you take care of the tab. Yet in a smorgasbord or cafeteria, you need to serve yourself, and come up with all required funds before you appreciate the dinner. Numerous individuals commit the error of imagining that they will follow through on the cost after they have encountered the victory. They sit before the oven of life and state, first give me some warmth, and afterward I'll place in some wood. As persuasive orator Zig Ziglar once stated, the lift to achievement is unavailable. Yet, the steps are consistently open. Another significant perception from Aristotle was his decision that a definitive reason for all human activity is the accomplishment of individual satisfaction. Whatever you do, he stated, it is focused on expanding your satisfaction here and there. You might be effective in accomplishing bliss, yet your joy is forever your extreme point. The way to satisfaction. Defining objectives, moving in the direction of them step by step, and at last accomplishing them is the way to satisfaction throughout everyday life. Objective setting is groundbreaking to the point that the very demonstration of pondering your objectives makes you upbeat, even before you have ventured out accomplishing them. To open and release your maximum capacity, you should make a propensity of day-by-day objective setting and accomplishing for a mind-blowing remainder. You ought to build up a laser-like concentration so you are continually thinking and discussing the things you need as opposed to the things that you try not to need. You should resolve, from this second on, to be an objective looking for life form, similar to a guided rocket, or a homing pigeon, moving unerringly toward the things that are imperative to you. There is no more noteworthy assurance of a long, cheerful, sound, and prosperous life than for you to be ceaselessly chipping away at being, having and accomplishing increasingly more of the things you truly need. Clear objectives empower you to deliver your maximum capacity for individual and proficient achievement. Objectives empower you to defeat any hindrance, and to make your future boundless. The potential of the average person is like a huge ocean unsailed, a new continent unexplored, a world of possibilities waiting to be released and channeled toward some great good. Brian Tracy. Open your latent capacity. 1. Envision that you have the innate capacity to accomplish any objective you would actually set for yourself. What would you truly like to be, have, and do? 2. What are the exercises that give you your most noteworthy feeling of? 3. Take a gander at your own and work life today and recognize how your own reasoning has made your reality. What would it be a good idea for you to, might you be able to change? 4. What do you think and discussion about more often than not, what you need, or what you don't need? 5. What is the value you should pay to accomplish the objectives that are generally critical to you? 6. What one move should you make quickly as the consequence of your responses to the above inquiries? Which means and reason throughout everyday life?